Hello. Yes. Hello, this is XenoChat. I am one of the hosts here, Tyler, along with my co-host, Justin.
Good evening, everyone.
And we got several guests today. First off, we got one guest that's been on several episodes now, and that is Kat.
Hello.
Hi, Kat.
And returning from our music episode is Mary.
Hi.
And last but not least, we have our brand new guest, and that is Erin.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. This is quite the gathering. This is probably this is the most guests we've had so far. But it's for a good reason, because today's episode will focus on Ziggy from Xenosaga. All right, but
That's that.
Yeah. Okay, but before that, we'll kind of get into our usual setup. So the way things go, first we'll talk about any recent news for like Microsoft or Xenogames, which I think we covered a lot of news in our last episode. Last time, since this is a week after our last episode we recorded.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're all right. But I think didn't the Xenoblade 2 art book came out this past week, right?
It did.
Yeah. I still don't have it because DHL are slow post.
Oh no!
It's because I've been trying to transfer it to like a pickup point, and like it took them 3 days to do that, and now I think it's finally unprocessed to go there, but it's just like it's a weekend, so it's not moving. I'll get it on Monday, hopefully.
But Kat, you did get your copy, right?
I did, and the second I sat down with it, the first thing I did was I snapped several pictures of my favorite characters and shared them to all my XenoChats. I'm in like 3 separate servers, so...
I saw some of those. Yeah, they were really nice.
Yeah.
It is my pledge never to scan a single Xeno book ever again. I had nightmare when I completed the scans of my Xenoblade 1 book, which, for one, they were crappy scans to begin with. For 2, that nightmare put the fear of God in me.
Oh, God.
And for 3, I don't want to take anything away from the company ever again.
Oh, what was the nightmare?
Okay, alright, so I was taken on a tour of Monolith Studios by, I'm not sure if it was Soraya Saga, but it was somebody up there, and everybody was being oddly nice to me, I know you're going to be, at the end of this, you guys are just gonna beat me up in the corner.
Oh god, oh god.
Nothing actually sinister happened, it just, oh god, I should not have done that. It was just a complete guilt dream.
Oh god, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, that's why I'm not scanning anything anymore.
Oh jeez, that's terrible.
It's not as traumatic as it sounds, but it's one of the reasons why I stopped. And plus...
Yeah, I can't blame you there.
Yeah, plus, the Xenoblade fandom is expanding and not contracting, so there are hundreds, if not thousands, maybe millions? Maybe not yet millions of people. But
someone will scan it.
Someone else, someone younger, someone with more time on their hands than me.
Oh gosh. I'm sorry.
Well, at least you...
I know what you mean now.
Well, at least you won't have to ruin, the binding of your book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to, break the spine. Yeah. That stuff.
Yeah, I never scan a book for that very reason, because I'm super overprotective of them.
Yeah.
My art books are my babies, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I generally don't unless I can do it without damaging the book too much. I don't think I've ever had anything that was super exclusive that people wanted me to scan, so for the most part, I mean.
Yeah, I think the scans of the Xenoblade book was a request from Kare Raiko, and and when I was scanning that book, I spoiled myself on everything in that game.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, I know that feeling. Nah, I did the same thing when I was like randomly flipping through the Xenoblade X player's guide before I actually beat the game.
Oh no.
I've spoiled so many things for myself that way. Like, I remember, like, we got a player's guide for Final Fantasy VI, and I read through the entire thing when we were, like, halfway through the game. I was, like, 10 years old, but I still spoiled myself on the whole ending. It's kind of almost that I became, like, immune to spoilers now, so, like, if something gets spoiled for me, I'll just be like, whatever, I'll watch it or play it anyway, because even though I know how it ends, I still kind of want to experience it myself. So I'm kind of weirdly spoiler agnostic in that way, but I know a lot of people aren't, so I try to be respectful of that.
Yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still iffy about spoilers. Well, I'm still kind of sore because I remember back on, I think it was Xeno Legacy, I accidentally went into one of the chat rooms and they spoiled a character end at the end of episode 3, and I was like, no.
Oh no.
But
God.
But as you said, I still went through the rest of the game because I just had to. So
yeah. Sometimes, like, even if you know how it's, like, what happens, you still want to know how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens leading up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember Blade, the community for that was really surprisingly good about not spoiling it. Like the whole Fiora thing. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, now you spoiled it again.
Well, this is why I spoiled it. I'm going to get to this. So, because I remember for a long time, people used to be really big about not spoiling, what happened to her and all that. But then Nintendo just stopped caring and just started outright spoiling it in like Project Cross Zone and in Smash Bros. And I think they even like showed it in one of like the commercials for like Xenoblade 3DS or whatever. It was nuts.
Yeah, there was a live action like Fiora, I think.
What was that?
I think there was a live action Fiora.
Oh really?
I remember that.
Yeah, there was like this Japanese model just dressed up as Fiora, and
oh yes, I know what you're talking about. I remember it now.
I remember that.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and at the end of the commercial, they have her dressed up in her mech gear, or I guess mech on gear.
Right. It's just so weird that you had the community for years after Xenoblade came out. They were very strict about not spoiling that. And then just Nintendo's just like, no, she comes back as a robot. Whatever, guys.
Xeno, you know us.
Yeah, how we roll.
Well, I was a little miffed because I remember when I first started playing Xenoblade, I posted on Twitter, it's like, I got killed by a level 80 fish or something, and someone's like, oh, well, I just got killed by level 70, blah, 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 spoiler, blah, blah, blah.
No!
And I was like, what? No, why'd you do that?
Why?
It was certain character betrayal.
Oh.
And I was like, and they're like, no, that doesn't happen. It did fucking happen. Sorry. That was probably the first time I dropped the F-bomb on this.
Are we allowed to say swears? Like,
yes,
are swears allowed? Or okay,
yes.
Yeah.
I just dropped the F-bomb in front of my nephew about 10 times, and he's like in grade school, so I'm in the doghouse. I'm the worst relative. I'm a bad influence. So I apologize if I say anything that would make this not PG-13 or
No, it's okay. We're okay.
Okay, good.
We don't. This is our podcast. We make the rules.
Okay.
Erin, you are allowed to say fuck.
Okay. Is there any other news? Because I know last time we talked about the Cosmos figure that came out, or that's coming out.
I want it.
I do too. They still haven't said like when or how much, have they?
Well, I expect it to be about as much as Mitra and Pyra, which was like $167.
Oh gosh.
So for me, it would be about 200 Canadian. And I'm like, but I want it. It's a bit like whenever I bought Joker, he costed me a bit less than that, but it still costed a lot. But I mean, it was Joker. I needed that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to keep this secret anymore, but I told Kat a few months ago, but I bought the Cosmos Dolphy doll.
Yes, she
Oh,
did.
man.
She is
A little while
gorgeous.
back. So I've been keeping it quiet because I don't want people to judge me, but
Aww.
We won't judge you. I think that's awesome.
That's why I keep my stuff quiet. I don't want people to judge me, but I don't
judging
think
you.
there's anything wrong with it. Oh, okay. It's cool.
And at least you love something beautiful.
yes, except I didn't know that there would be so much assembly required, so
Oh,
that's another reason why I haven't said much, because I still haven't fully put her together yet.
Aw.
But yeah, it's just her wig won't just. I can't cooperate with it, but that's another story. So I thought I'd finally.
I need to come to your house and help you with it.
Yes, like that would be great. Just help me adjust Cosmos's wig.
I get there, I'll touch it once, and it'll be perfect. It's just my energy.
I mean, it's about the same as a cosplay wig, probably, so I could help if I was there when I'm not there.
We just need to have a XenoChat con in which everybody just goes to Jin's house.
Oh yeah, let's our 2020 Katsukan. I'll bring my Cosmos Dolphy doll and just.
I will
just
fix
help
it
me
for
put
you.
her together.
While I'm in my Turingov cosplay.
You need to walk around the entire convention center just carrying her.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, did you say you wanted to cosplay Alan?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
See? That's an
That would be
idea.
perfect.
Oh my god.
That would be perfect.
There you
Oh
go.
my god. Now this needs to happen.
Yes, it does need
Yes,
to
it
happen.
does.
And I'm going to take a lot of pictures and post it all over social
And
media.
you should scream "Chief" all over the place.
Chief, I have. Where are you, Chief?
Oh wow.
Alright, is there any other news that anyone can think of?
I don't know if you guys covered that, but Weltal got delayed again to
Oh,
March.
did it?
I hadn't heard that, no.
But yeah, I think that news came up around January. Like
Mhm.
whenever Elite came out, like they pushed it to March. I guess they're having some difficulties since it's more parts, since like robot and all. So maybe that's why it's taking longer. I don't know.
Well, I think that's also when the Xenogears concert Blu-ray's also supposed to come out, so that'll be a
neat.
Xenogears themed month.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
cool.
So I think that's about that.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah. All right. Okay, then the next part of the episode, Erin, if you don't mind, would you be interested in going into how you came into the Xeno experience?
Oh gosh, okay, I will try to make this not too rambly because I have a tendency to ramble. I can talk.
You're okay.
I can speak words sometimes. So, I don't know if have we introduced my husband, who's kind of passively observing over there? Say hi, Jeremy.
No,
Oh.
I guess we should.
I don't know if we
Hello.
really need to introduce, but he's part of the how I got into Xenosaga, so I don't know if that's relevant or not.
Well, you can come to the mic if you want to.
Oh, I'm at the mic. I'm just being real quiet.
Okay.
Oh,
All
hello.
right. Sorry, I'm like making it awkward. Okay.
You're fine.
So,
That's what you do.
I do. Yeah. So currently my now husband and I met when we were both in high school, and over the summer he invited me to a party at his house. It was like right before we started dating. And he was showing everyone this game that I had heard of, but I hadn't played before, and it was Xenosaga Episode 1. And he had it on the TV with a bunch of people there, and he was at the ending. So he showed everyone the ending, including me, spoiling the ending for me. And then of the first game,
Wow.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, Erin, you should play this. You'll probably like it." And he lent it to me. So around the same time we started dating, and I started playing Xenosaga, and I think eventually he helped me beat it because I'm terrible at video games. But Yeah, so our relationship is sort of partly because of, well, maybe not because of, but intertwined with Xenosaga. And it's kind of been like a thing.
All according to Keikaku.
Keikaku means plan. We were just talking about that meme at dinner tonight. But yeah, so it's kind of been like this weird recurring theme in our relationship. And I've always been a fan of JRPGs. Like my favorite game is one of my favorite games. Other games is Final Fantasy VI, and I love like old school RPGs. So like Xenosaga is kind of, you know, it's extremely my jam. I'm not too familiar with the rest of the Xeno series except by osmosis through my friends who are fans of it. So I apologize. My knowledge of the other games is pretty abysmal, but yeah, like I love Xenosaga and I'm still obsessed with it. Like how many years later? I can't math right now. It was like 2003 when I first played it, so 16
honestly,
years.
I think we're all. Sorry. Honestly, I think we're all like obsessed with Xenosaga still.
Yeah, so in good company. That's good. Yeah, so it's kind of like I have a very one-track mind, and it's still stuck on that basically. But yeah, I think that's all. I don't know. Anything else I should say or? Sorry, I'm like super awkward.
No, you're fine.
How about your involvement with the Godsib and XU communities, and also the fantastic fucking fan fiction you wrote a couple of years ago about Ziggy and Pied Piper?
Oh god, my fan fiction.
And your fan art.
I feel like the Ice King from Adventure Time. My fan fiction. Yeah, so honestly, I was involved with a couple of fan forums that that Kat was also involved with, and like XU is kind of Kat's thing, but I was lucky enough to be part of that and eventually become a moderator there. And so I've always been kind of like not always, actually, just since 2006, which is when I got really into the fandom side of things, but I've been pretty active in that side of things. I'm repeating myself, aren't I? But so actually I met a lot of my current closest friends through the fandom and through the community, like including Kat, who's my best friend. So it's yeah, it's kind of, it was really a big deal for me because prior to that I didn't really have a lot of friends, so it's kind of central to my life in a weird way. Yeah, sorry, that sounds sappy, but it's true.
No, it's okay, because I mean, definitely wouldn't have met a bunch of no, it's okay. I wouldn't have met a bunch of my Xeno friends without fan forums, so it was a really good experience.
Yeah, same here. I met a lot of people through Xenosaga and the other Xeno series, but mostly Xenosaga, so
yeah,
I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great. I feel lucky that I've been able to keep in touch with so many people for so long. It's just really cool, and seeing that there's still so much enthusiasm for the whole series, it's just really nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about the fanfiction?
Oh god, yeah, I oh gosh, I actually just got done sort of redoing my my personal fan site where I quarantine all my fan fiction, so it's kind of like at the front of my mind right now. But I wrote a lot of fan fiction in the mid 2000s about Xenosaga, and I don't normally write a lot of fan fiction. There's only maybe 3 to 5 fandoms that I've actively created written stuff for, because writing is very hard for me and I'm not super good at it, and I'm not very efficient at it. But if things that I feel really passionate about, I usually want to write about. So I did a lot for Xenosaga, probably more than any other fandom.
And also,
I've been in
order to do your extremely intricate fan fiction, you did your research, and you know a lot because of it.
Well, I've forgotten a lot, but
Okay.
I mean, I did a lot. I think I did more research for that fanfic than I did for my my college thesis, which is something I probably shouldn't
Nice.
be proud of. But it's.
I think you should be proud of that. I think you should be proud of that.
I think so too.
Well, I guess that's something. I mean, yeah, like, so basically, I'm not gonna I don't want to toot my own horn here, but yeah, I this one fanfic I wrote that ended up being something like 200 pages long. I don't even know how many words, but it was because I was not completely happy with the way that Ziggy's story ended in episode 3, so I was like, I'm gonna fix it. So I made it worse, and I wrote this whole sequel that was set 2 or 3 years after episode 3, and it just got into this big, long, complicated, terrible singularity of angst. But I did a lot
beautiful, and I loved it.
I'm honestly, that means
I kinda
so
wanna
much
read it
to me.
now.
That means so much to me because I think you were only one of 5 people who read it, and I was like, "What am I even doing this for?" But honestly, if one person, if my best friend read it and liked it that much, that means the whole world to me. Seriously, that's all I could possibly ask for. It was because it meant so much to me when I was working on it, but I know it sounds trivial and silly, but I really I don't think I've cared that much about anything in a while. So it was a whole big thing. Yeah. And I recently kind of reformatted the whole site where I was keeping it so everything is up to date, web design wise. Yeah, I just I'm gonna learn CSS and I'm gonna redo all my web pages. So yeah, I'm super shy about hosting my fanfics on AO3 like a normal human being would, or fanfiction.net. So I just hide them away where no one can ever find them. Ever.
Can I find it though?
Oh, you can. I'll give you the link later if you want.
I can actually put that in the show notes as well.
Oh gosh, if you want to. I mean, I don't want to forcibly subject people to my horrible fan fiction, but if you would like that link,
it's really good.
No, it is what it is.
Erin, this is why you're here. You literally wrote the book on Ziggy.
It's not even a book.
Cannabis gave us the.
Be careful, there's my pornography on there too. I don't really have pornography. There's just one that's
don't worry, she doesn't know what that word
content. Dude, you've seen some of my sketchbooks. You know what I'm about. We'll probably have to censor that out, and I apologize. Anyway, so that's my deal. My deal is mostly being an obsessive weirdo about this one very specific minor section of one obscure part of a video game for the last 16 years. So that's my entire wheelhouse. Is a very small wheelhouse.
I mean, that's a really good segue into today's episode. Because what are we talking about? Ziggy!
And that's why I'm here. Yeah, I was telling Kat and Jeremy the other day that me going on a podcast about Ziggy is like me going on a podcast about how much I like dogs or something. It's what can I really say about it? It's just my thing.
This will be a most joyous experience for you, though.
All right.
Okay,
so yeah, I guess we'll go on just the topic at hand. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
first,
Ziggy,
thank you for letting me be on this and embarrass myself.
Is this where we drop the image?
Yeah. Before the episode, we were talking about Ziggy's mankini from Xenosaga 3.
Yeah, that time he went snorkeling and then went into his robot. I forget the name of his robot. Which one was it? It was ES.
Zevlin?
Yeah, that one.
That was Momo's one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have named my computer Zevlin. That's the name. That's the current name
awesome.
of my computer. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Ziggy or AKA Jan Sauer or AKA Ziggurat
My
8.
dad.
AKA your dad.
My dad. Everyone's dad.
But yeah, he is a cyborg that was brought back to life due to the life recycling program life recycling act. I'm sorry, because I'm awful, and I don't know if I say Ziggy was one of my favorite characters, but I have a Wikipedia entry up so I could remember some of the things about him.
Yeah, no, it's an open book test.
I just finished rewatching all the cutscenes, so it's pretty fresh in my memory.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I actually haven't watched the cutscenes in a while because I have them. I have them saved, at least all the ones that are relevant to my interest.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sending a hug through the microphone. Group hugs.
Group hug.
Yeah,
Group hug!
the ending always gets me.
Gosh,
I just can't watch the ending without crying. It's impossible.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Would anyone want to do an overview of Ziggy? Because I don't think I'm qualified.
I don't know if I'm qualified either.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm gonna ramble and I'm gonna sound stupid and
the most qualified person.
Yes,
Oh,
you
God.
you really are.
Okay, you're probably gonna have to edit me out a lot because I don't talk very good. I'm bad at talking.
I understand. I'm bad at talking too, so it's okay.
Don't worry, our
It's fine.
standards are not very high here.
So feel free to chime in and correct me if I go off the rails here. Oh god, yeah. I'm just talking about my favorite character from anything ever, but no pressure.
You can
No
do it.
pressure.
I don't know how much should I go into his story, chronologically in terms of the games.
I guess we could go by chronology or something.
Oh,
a bit.
Start at the beginning.
The beginning of episode 1 or the
How
beginning of
How about just to ground us? How about start with episode 1?
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
he's basically oh god, I'm trying.
You can do it.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna be okay.
Okay, I apologize for my awkwardness. I'm glad that the redness of my face can't be transmitted to the internet right now. Because if this was a video call, you'd have to turn down the saturation or something. Yeah, so he's basically assigned to rescue Momo from Utic on on Pleroma, where she's being held. So he goes there and he rescues Momo and he fights Margulis. I'm just I'm not explaining this well. Margulis is cool though. I like Margulis. And then, can you explain?
Well, it's also that whenever he gets a mission, that's where you get to know a bit how he's been recycled and all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so his briefing is pretty informative. They were talking about
Why don't you explain why he takes missions that are almost guaranteed to fail?
because he wants to die.
Mhm.
I mean, we should probably put a suicide trigger warning on here because he's he basically is trying to eliminate his own existence because his memories of the past are too painful, and he either wants to do that by getting himself killed during a mission, which is really hard for him to do because he has a safety mechanism that prevents him from actually sabotaging himself, or as compensation for rescuing Momo, what he wants is that they erase all of his memories so that he doesn't remember being human and is basically just an automaton, like a machine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, which is, big mood, but basically he just doesn't want to have a consciousness anymore kind of thing.
Right. And it's kind of...
he's been brought back against his will
Yeah.
and stuff. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also-
because he died from suicide in his previous life, and he didn't want to be brought back, but that was the law that he had to be, because he signed up as an organ donor. Which,
Right.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that, when he meets Momo, he starts having flashbacks of, his previous life. And he's constantly reminded of it, and there's all these flashbacks of his family that he unfortunately, lost and...
Lost very tragically,
Yeah.
extremely tragically.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember
holy
the first
shit.
time he meets Momo. I think that's when he has the first flashback of his son or something.
Yeah, the son
Yeah,
and the
she-
Voyager.
yeah.
There's a dog,
she,
too.
The dog, yeah. Speaking of
And
dogs.
the dog too.
Yeah, because Momo's like, oh, your name is Ziggurat 8? That sounds like a model number. Let's call you Ziggy instead.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a puppy's name? And then he has this whole flashback of giving his son a puppy, and it's really sad, and he's like, call me whatever you want. I don't know, I might be paraphrasing, but that's what I remember.
No, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, so he meets Momo when he goes to rescue her, and his plan originally is like, okay, I'll just, save this kid, and then as compensation for that, they'll erase all my memories, and I could just be like a robot forever, and it doesn't really matter. But then, like, he kind of gets caught up in the whole thing that Momo is a part of, and Shion and Cosmos and the others are a part of, and now he's like, not wanting to erase all his memories anymore because he's got friends and stuff.
Yeah, but that's going further though, because technically it takes a while for him to get there.
Oh yeah,
like as far as episode 2 goes as well. Like
yeah. I mean, it's kind of
with...
like, sorry, but
What?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, no, you're right. It's that's kind of like across the whole series. That's yeah.
But in episode 2, I remember like Junior having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Because it was like, like I feel like Momo would be sad if you'd leave or something, if you want life extinction. Anyways.
Yeah.
Like that he could get it and stuff, but he didn't want to still at that time.
Yeah.
But you're just like, well, if you want to have it later, you know who to call.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of like a long process for him to go from, not wanting to exist or feel anymore to being like, where he is at the end, where he's
but
more
I feel like
at
a
peace.
lot of it came also from Yuli. Because, I mean, it started from him trying to get her to talk to Momo again.
Yeah.
And then slowly her, like, kind of reopening up and stuff in episode 2 a little bit. Like, she was trying to do some steps and stuff.
And I thought that was really cool. I really liked the dynamic between the three of them and how they all kind of sort of brought out the best in each other and kind of helped each other to be better and
Junior kept eavesdropping.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it was nice how their dynamic slowly became that of a family, which was really nice.
Yeah. And it's really telling that in Xenosaga there's a lot of really damaged people, and you see how all three of them, how badly all of them are damaged, and they come together and they create something positive that each of them grow from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know a lot of stories kind of deal with the theme of like found family and chosen family and all that sort of thing, and that's like super relevant to me personally. And I think in Xenosaga, like that particularly, like it just really, it really resonated with me. So I think that's why it's like such an important thing to me. Why I like it so much.
It's also really important to me.
I'm not very articulate, but word.
No, you're fine.
You're fine completely.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm like all over the place.
You don't have to apologize for anything here.
Okay. But yeah, no, that's definitely the sort of the family dynamic between the three of them is probably one of my favorite things about the whole entire game series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go on.
Wait, what?
Oh,
no, I just said sorry. I do that a lot.
No, it's okay. I do too. So
this is why we work together so well. When I'm not talking to any of you, half of my words are sorry.
Oh god, there was this part in the script for Pied Piper that I always thought was really hilarious, where Jan is talking to Sharon and he keeps apologizing and Sharon's like, stop apologizing, and he's like, sorry. I'm like, That's relatable. Let's see if I can find it. You can keep talking.
So something that I kind of thought was interesting about Ziggy is his code name, or rather his model number, is like Ziggurat 8. So
yes.
The 8 being that he was the 8th type of cyborg that they're making by Ziggurat Industries. And I think that I always found that to be kind of an interesting concept of how they were essentially reanimating old, like, dead people and then turning them into robots. And eventually, a law was passed. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called the Species Preservation Act that was passed so that they could no longer legally produce any more robots like Ziggy, or rather cyborgs. Yeah, they can no longer produce any more like him. Because
of the life recycling law was like repealed at some point, so they stopped. And I think I forget exactly when the company that made him went out of business, but I think they were kind of old by the time that came around too. So he's like super outdated already.
Yeah, and he's the last one. Type 8's the last one that they made before that law came into play. So what you're seeing here is essentially like the pinnacle of their work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I never really thought of that, but yeah.
Now, I don't remember if this was ever touched on in the games. Did we ever really get to see the other models?
No, not that I know of. No, I wondered about that a lot.
We did not. I don't think so.
Because that would have been kind of cool. Like if we got to see like what a type.
Honestly, in the games, they barely covered his backstory.
Yeah.
They covered it on surface and showed a bit of things, like the more intrigue, but it was still very vague and not really like detailed. Like if you want details, you have to go read that.
Pied Piper,
Yeah,
really. Like even his whole backstory was just like a database footnote in the last game, which kind of made me sad and mad, and was partly why I wrote the spite fanfic. But I found the part where he apologizes like 50 times. I put it in the chat.
It's also kind of funny how he is 30 and he looks damn good for 30, and also like, of course, because anime, if you're older than 25, you're old. That's what Junior calls him.
Yeah, well, he looks 30, but he's actually like 130.
Yeah.
He's like, he died when he was 30.
Right.
And and then he came back to life and lived for another 100 years. So I guess he looks pretty damn good just for his age.
Yeah. Which goes back to the swimsuit.
Oh my god. That ass.
I mean, hey, if I make it to 130 and I have that body, I'll be very happy.
Yeah.
Someone will have to reanimate me as a robot. Alright, what were we saying, Tyler?
Oh, no, I didn't know if we wanted to actually go into, like, since we've hinted at Pied Piper, maybe we should go into the specifics of it?
Oh, yeah,
Sure,
yeah, we could do that.
We could do that and come back afterwards a bit toward some parts of 2 and 3. I think it could make a bit more sense. Though I didn't manage to read everything, so I'll leave the ending of that to you.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing. I know like what happens. I've read a summary of it, but I'm actually still in the middle of reading the script of it. But go ahead, spoil it. I don't mind.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do that. I'm sorry. I'm like blah. All right, so we're gonna talk about his backstory now. So let's see. Oh wait. So has anyone else?
Police officer or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone else read the whole thing? Because I don't want to like get it wrong. Someone's got to fact check me because I read it like 1 or 2 times.
I read it once, maybe over 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, but I did enjoy it. But
yeah,
I've
read it once or twice. Yeah, I've gone back over it once or twice at least, and referred to it a couple of times when I was still doing research. So I'll try to sum it up as clearly as possible, because there was a lot in there that the games didn't, like the main trilogy didn't even start to get into. Like I think Voyager talks like once in episode 3, like ever. Like he says he has like one big villain monologue and then spoiler.
Actually, he speaks a bit, I think, in
okay.
Chu and Chu, I think he speaks twice.
Okay, yeah. I can only remember like the one time when you confront him at near the end where he just goes into that whole spiel, but yeah, it's just like
in 3 there was also that part after the Cosmos comes back. I think
yeah.
I think he says a little bit like at the end.
Yeah, when he just like busts in and tries to steal Cosmos. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of like he just seems like a 2-dimensional or like 1-dimensional villain with no real motive other than I'm just gonna be a dick to Jan. But he really had a really interesting backstory, and I feel like it's hard for me to talk about Ziggy without also talking about Voyager because yeah. But let's see. So basically, 100 years ago, Jan and his coworkers are part of the Galaxy Federation Police.
We should probably mention Lactus.
Oh, Lactus, yeah, he's a Realian, and
wink, wink, just for later reference.
Yeah, because Lactus is mentioned at the end of episode 3, and it was just like, are we supposed to know this guy?
Who is Lactus?
You're that Lactus? What Lactus? I don't know this guy. But yeah, he was part of of Jan's unit, and there were a couple other characters who are more or less significant for various ways, but they were investigating a series of cyber terrorist incidents over the UMN, and this guy Voyager was behind it. And Voyager also had ties to a bunch of other, like ties like Yuriev and Udu and all the, Ormus, the immigrant fleet and all that stuff was kind of tangled up in there. But it turned out that Voyager was actually this guy Eric, who was also in the same unit as Jan and was working on the same case, but was kind of like also being a terrorist at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was
crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah. Geez, how can I even describe what Voyager was doing? I researched this. I should know. But he was basically manipulating the so-called people of Zohar on the planet Abraxas, which later became Mictum, and kind of other than killing them, kind of just like
I think he was trapping the souls or something.
Yeah,
something
basically
like that.
he would kill them and he would trap their consciousness inside of his working memory that he had constructed on the UMN, which he had to do because he was like actually 150 years old, not 20 something. And he had some kind of neurological disorder that made him have to be online all the time. So like Voyager was extremely online, and he was like harvesting people's consciousnesses because he accidentally got too online and he met Udu on the UMN, and when he came into contact with Udu, who was at the root of the UMN, he received this vision of the end of the universe, and it freaked him out so much that he decided he was going to save people from the horror of death and the end of the universe by killing them and storing them in his mind. And that was Voyager's whole MO. He like he experienced something that like was incomprehensibly horrible, so he sort of turned into this like depraved, like pseudo-religious guy, mass murderer out of this kind of almost like deluded savior complex. And he got involved with a lot of other things. Like he was like friends with Yuriev for a while, and they had something going on. And then like technically he made some sort of contract with Udu that he was like being used as Udu's observation terminal for a while or something like that. And anyway, so I'm explaining too much about Voyager.
No, not enough people.
It's really interesting.
A lot, but I can't explain it very well, and I'm butchering it.
No, you're fine.
No, so far it's good.
So whatever reason, Eric/Voyager ends up working for the Federation Police while he's carrying out all these crazy terrorist attacks. and he's investigating his own crimes, and sort of tormenting the other Federation police officers while he's doing it. And he also has this weird fixation with Jan that like he enjoys tormenting him for some reason. And ultimately, so while they're investigating the whole Voyager thing on Abraxas, Jan meets this doctor named Sharon, who has a son from a previous marriage, and he and Sharon fall in love while they're working on investigating the Voyager thing, and they get married, and Jan becomes the stepfather to Sharon's son, and that's the kid who he gives the puppy to in his flashback. So he has a wife and a son now, and he's still investigating this thing. And then, but Sharon is one of the people of Zohar that Voyager is trying to manipulate for his whole deal. And eventually, sort of towards the end of Pied Piper, she gets lured in with the others to this whole ceremony at a cathedral where Voyager basically just kills everybody and summons the Zohar, and shit goes down. And so Sharon and her son get killed in front of Jan, and then Voyager's like, oh well, I just absorbed their consciousness into my internet brain thing. So how about you join them and me, and let me take your soul too? And Jan's like, no. And then there's a couple boss fights, and Voyager gets defeated, and then he gets approached by Wilhelm, who's like, hey, you should be a Testament. And Voyager's like, okay, let's make Jan a Testament also. So then Voyager comes back as a Testament, and he's like, hey, Jan, you should be a Testament with me. And Jan's like, no. And then he commits suicide by shooting himself in the head, and after that, he gets revived, and then, that's the end of the... Yeah, did I explain that, or was I rambling too much?
No, you explained that perfectly.
Feel free to add detail. That was like the awkward Cliff's Notes version. I mean, there was a lot more going on. Like, I barely even touched on Yuriev, but he had a big deal.
The only thing, though, I wonder, since I did not read all of it, I wonder, like, where does Lactus go with all of this, though?
Oh, yeah. I think Elise explains that at the end, like in the epilogue, like 2 years pass before Ziggy is activated, between the ending of the story. And hang on, let me find it, because I know, like, I think Lactus got, what was it? Let me look that up real quick. Because he eventually became Kanan, but there was a thing. There was a thing. Let me see. Epilogue. I'm gonna look it up right now. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, I don't know how it transitioned to like him becoming Kanan afterwards and stuff.
Yeah, they didn't really explain how he became Kanan. Only that he was part of Program Kanan, which was supposed to which was a program that Vector and Wilhelm were doing to search for like people who had a certain type of will that they could become a Testament if things worked out a certain way. So he was like, so Lactus was kind of like almost spying on people like Ziggy and later the main characters of Xenosaga without really knowing it. Because so he was recalled to Vector because of a defect in his central nervous system. Yeah, so that's what happened to Lactus. Presumably he got sent back to Vector, and then he became Kanan, and we don't really know.
I guess they just remodeled him a little bit, because I mean, his appearance changed a lot, it seems like.
Yeah, he looks a lot different. I assume that's one of the reasons why Ziggy didn't recognize him, although also because his memory's busted, but yeah.
Well, it's also interesting because I'm looking through the Pied Piper wiki, and I remember that there was like this kind of secretary to Wilhelm named Kayla, who is also installed with Program Kanan. So it's like, but she was very minor. But it's like, if she has Program Kanan, that's
Yeah, Kayla, and I think Kayla. I can't remember whether Kayla was like a guy or a girl. For some reason, it's a girl's name, but I don't know. But yeah, Kayla. it was another Realian who actually looked a bit like Lactus too, I think. I always forget that part because, like, I wasn't really paying attention to that part, but
no.
there was a Kayla.
So the wiki actually lists Kayla's gender as unknown.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe they didn't really specify that in the Japanese version, because they can get away without, like, really using pronouns in the same way that English does.
Right.
Yeah.
I also found it interesting that Yuriev had, like, an android assistant.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess because since they said... I remember in the beginning of episode 1, they said how androids are kind of obsolete, so I guess maybe in this time period, androids were more prevalent.
Yeah, I think by the present day of Xenosaga, when Cosmos is around, like, an android is kind of seen as archaic or anachronistic, but maybe back then they were a little more common. Let's see. Hey, Jeremy, could you turn on the music a little bit? Sorry, I'm bugging you. Alright, Jeremy has music on.
It's okay. There was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for, like, explaining things badly. I feel like I'm just like incoherent, and I apologize.
No, you're fine. I was just gonna go in. I was just gonna mention, because I remember how, like, when I read this originally, but way back when, I remember it was really like several parts of the story is, like, really darker than the main Xenosaga games. Like one of the incidents with Voyager was, like, a mass murder of, like, children embryos in a nursing plant or something like that.
Yeah, that was, like, they were I think technically designer children, so they were, like, they had some genetic modifications or something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he killed all of them. While they were being incubated. So that was pretty freaky. There was some hardcore shit in there.
I feel like kids got attacked a lot in Pied Piper.
Yeah, there were I think, like, one of the first Voyager attacks that they mentioned was, like, the Goodwill Ambassadors or whatever they were. They were kids. Yeah, and I wonder if that kind of has something to do with the original fairy tale of Pied Piper being where the Piper eventually took away everyone's children.
Oh.
Yeah, so Voyager targeting kids might have had something to do with that.
Okay, I always wondered why they would have called it Pied Piper, but that definitely makes sense if that's the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, hang on, let me see. There was something else interesting about that.
Should we move back to Xenosaga 2?
Yeah, we can.
Now that we know all the backstory.
Yeah. Because I think... Was the first time he appeared only in 2? I think so, right? Near
Voyager,
the end of 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, Voyager, towards the end. That was when, like, Ziggy freaked out.
And that's where Ziggy lost his cool.
Yeah, and his arm.
Yep.
Wasn't there, like, a brief flash in episode 1 that Ziggy, like...
Well, you see him in the
Very
flashback
briefly,
of the kid, but I don't know if we see him into another flashback in 1.
Well,
there
I remember...
was the scene when Cherenkov turned into the Gnosis, and Ziggy has, like, this very brief, like, flashback of this sort of, like, vague Gnosis thing, and he says it's the same just like that day, but it isn't really explained, yeah.
So I didn't remember if that was actually, like, a glimpse of Voyager, or if maybe it was something unrelated.
Was it supposed to be Voyager with the Zohar?
I think that was supposed to be Voyager, but they might have... I feel like I remember hearing that some details of the backstory were changed between episode 1 and episode 2, and that Soraya Saga and whoever was working on Pied Piper did some rewrites to it. So, like, it was originally planned to be a little bit different, so that might have been a retcon. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not completely sure, so don't take my word on that.
No, that's okay.
I think they might have changed.
We're also talking about a lot about Voyager, but we should also cover maybe the family aspect that develops a bit more into. And
yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, the part where with the call about, like, oh, maybe you should, like, extend your life or whatever, it would make Momo happy. But also in that same call, like, he was talking with Yuli and was trying to get her to talk with Momo, and I know he tried a bit later again.
Yeah.
And she actually tried, but it was really awkward, and like, but she still tried to like provide some kind of like comfort, but sometimes like she wasn't really sure at first, I guess.
Yeah.
Though when Momo shut down, it kind of like that's the part where I think she kind of like started to open up more, because there's also the part where Junior talked to her about Momo being like, maybe she should treat her as a second daughter and not like the same as Sakura. So
yeah, I think Junior and Ziggy were kind of both trying to convince Yuri to be a little more open with Momo, and she eventually did come around. I think that the bit with Momo's analysis and her getting hacked by Albedo or whatever and shutting down was like a big turning point. For Yuri, that was when she kind of realized, oh my gosh, Momo's cutting her own connections so that she can stop this, and she's she's still fighting, and I think that's when I think that really is a catalyst for her. Like the moment where she realizes, I don't want her to die. I can't let her die. I can't lose another daughter.
Yeah.
And, that I love that scene. It's so intense. I love it.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best scenes in episode 2. Is just so intense.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that.
I'm trying to think of other parts exactly in 2 where there's might be interaction with Ziggy as well. Like, and Yuli, I think though, like,
they have a conversation towards the end, I think, after
towards the end, I think she's the one fixing him.
Yeah, because of his missing arm.
Yeah, he punched a hole in the wall and lost his arm. Big deal.
Yeah,
it happens. But and then I think at that point she was still kind of, trying to push him to get lifespan extension.
And Junior was eavesdropping again.
Again, yes, he does.
But as far as Stu, I think that's about it. Since Stu was focusing a bit more on the URTVs and all that jazz, like we had a bit of Ziggy and those people moments, but it was often more around the URTVs.
Yeah, and I think, I think a lot of that character development happened in episode 2. There wasn't really much in 3 other than the whole Voyager thing, which was disappointing to me because I wanted to see Ziggy and Momo and Yuri interacting a lot more.
Yeah, but at the same time, 3 focused a lot on bringing all the elements of missing years and like other things together, and then like showing you the entire past. In full detail for you to get everything and get mind blown.
Yeah, it was pretty mind blowing, and the stuff with Shion's past was really interesting. Yeah, I just felt like some of the supporting cast had these loose ends that were either resolved really quickly or just left hanging.
Yeah,
it was a little disappointing.
But I think his only big part in episode 3 was more like whenever they reach victim, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember from what I've seen not so long ago if there was something else, but I think most of the rest in Saga 3 was focusing more on Shion, the past, and like all of that hoodoo jazz and wave existence and all that stuff.
Well, going back to episode 2, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
There, I remember there was a part when they were inside Momo's encephalon at the Yuri institution where it seemed like Ziggy kind of related to Albedo in a way. Like he, because it was probably...
Sorry.
Oh, go on. Oh, no, you go on.
No, you go. No, I'm not going to say it as well as you do. Look, I know the part you were talking about.
Yeah, because I think it's right after he realizes that Albedo's immortal, but not his brothers, and he's freaking out, like digging graves for his brothers, and Ziggy does that really awesome quote.
He just randomly becomes philosophical for like one scene.
Yeah, it's like, wow,
it's a really good quote.
You didn't really have much presence, but then he just brought that up, and it's like, he's in a way he's kind of really relating to Albedo right now, and I thought that was Interesting.
Death is rest for the soul. Who was it? Who said that? If the body did not die, and the fears born in the mind just continue to pile up, the world would be nothing more than an eternal prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, in his way, like, he always wanted to die, and it did not happen, so I guess he gets the feeling.
Yeah, because they're both immortal, and they're gonna,
Except Albedo is completely insane, but
well,
Yeah.
that's a story for a different episode.
I don't know if we
Yeah,
should
you guys
cover.
are gonna get at least one entire episode about Albedo.
I don't know if we
Yes.
should cover a little bit more about Lactus/Kanan before getting to the Xenosaga 3 part, because just to say where it's coming from, but he appears in 2 at the very beginning.
Yeah, he's there during the Milsha conflict, right?
Right.
Yeah, basically at the beginning they're diving to try and get that Y data, whatever he had in his head from Jin, and you see that part where he basically was doing that mission with Chaos to go down within the Milsha conflict to save the remaining URTVs, which were pretty much Albedo, and Negredo, but Albedo was gone, I guess. Bye-bye. But, basically they go down there, and I guess, that's where they meet Jin, and you see that whole fighting with Margulis. That's where we could scream Uzuki if you want to.
I can't scream. I can barely talk. I'll try. Uzuki!
That was good.
Alright.
Oh wow.
Yes.
But yeah, that's also how, like, you see, like, Jin somehow had some information and you were like, how did he get that? At that point. But it was like, I have my sources. How does that explain everything? But yeah, basically he eventually has something that he has to do, which is, if we jump back to Xenosaga 3, we know he was going to rescue Shion. Most likely. So he passed the data to Kanan, who's also Lactus, and afterwards, I guess Chaos and Kanan pretty much just went straight to the URTVs. They saved them, and they brought them back. And afterwards, in episode 2, whenever they come back to the present, the other party appears is whenever because he's the initial pilot they use a lot with Asher, and that's when he comes around and like back up the group, because they were being pursued at the beginning of the game by some other mechs, and that's when he pretty much like backed them up. And he mentions again this stuff with Rubido, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. But for the most part, he stays a lot with the group. But I think he starts to be more revealed whenever that stuff with the missing years appears and stuff like that, because he cooperates with Shion, Scientia, and all that jazz.
Yeah,
So-
Scientia is another thing that was kind of formed as a result of the whole Voyager thing back in Pied Piper. It was founded by Melisse. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. Melisse, however. Who was also she was also in the police department that was investigating Voyager, and she witnessed the whole thing at the end with the cathedral and everything, and then she went on to form Scientia, to sort of address the issues with the UMN that Voyager had exploited, basically. Yeah, I'm not going into it in very much detail, but that kind of, that this kind of significant.
But
Wow.
afterwards they like in Missing Year, which is between 2 and 3, like where Shion pretty much quits Vector, like they were pretty much like researching all that stuff too, because and the Gnosis phenomenon, the UMN, and all that jazz. And Canon was helping them, but I think that's also about when maybe I forgot her name, the boss of XenoChat at the time.
Doctus?
No,
I don't know if she's the boss.
Doctus.
Oh yeah.
There was a very
I think that's when she
resemblance to someone.
Oh yeah, I remember that popular theory about who Doctus might actually be.
Might be. I mean, I'm sure it could be a coincidence.
I thought it was, but I don't remember it very well.
Well, the theory was that she is actually Melise Ortis, the investigator that was in Yan's squad.
Yeah, I was just sort of read it as, oh, it's me, it's Ductus, my actual thing. It's canon that I was Melise Ortis, but I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I just kind of, that's my headcanon, but it's a lot of other people's headcanons too. So it might be like somewhere in between canon and fanon, sort of like gray area, but. Yeah, I mean, it's otherwise it would be like her whole character design would be a very, very, very big coincidence.
Yeah, because I think even in her description, Doctus herself is an android, but the real person that's controlling the android is in another location or something like that. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
Another thing that someone pointed out years ago, I think it was even on the fan translation site where there was speculation about it, but Melise has a lot of attacks and things that are sort of refer to justice.
Mm-hmm.
And oh geez, what is it? Doctus has her, what is it, AMWS is called Astraea. Now I can't spell it. Astraea, who's the goddess of justice.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a couple other things there that I'm forgetting now, but I've seen some people point to her use of Latin phrases, because there was before Scientia, which is Latin for knowledge or whatever, there was another organization called Veritas, which was it was an acronym. There was the truth will set you free. And that was Latin, so possibly her use of Latin phrases and her references to justice, but again, it's still speculation, so we don't know.
That would be great if
there was a lot of stuff that I'm probably butchering by trying to say it, but also just her general appearance and her hairstyle and everything.
I think it's interesting, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely, I feel like they might have done that deliberately for the speculation that it would cause, but I don't know.
Maybe
accidentally.
I mean, Monolith tends to do that often.
Yeah. So I always thought that was very, very interesting.
It's a really interesting
and I wish
theory.
we had found out more about it.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, at least her and Ziggy, I wish they had a conversation or something.
And that's where I'm with the fanfic.
Nice.
Fanfiction solves everything.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, I think she found a bit about the Project Canon within the Missing Year, if I'm not mistaken, and that they talked about it again in 3 afterwards a little bit.
Yeah, didn't she? Did she actually talk to Kanan at one point?
She talks to him directly and says pretty much I know of this, and she pretty much tried to provoke him to see if he does know, but then she sees that he doesn't know directly. It's something working on the back of his head or something.
Mm-hmm.
But she pretty much handed him over the data, and she pretty much says, if you interfere with us, you're dead, basically.
It's pretty harsh. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something that's very different about her versus Melise. Doctus is very calculating and not at all naive. Melise was very naive and sort of idealistic. So I mean, if they are the same person, it could be sort of kind of a reflection of how much her character changed as a result of what she witnessed. But yeah, it's
she had a rough 100 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I think afterwards, like, Caden gets a bit like you can see that he's thinking about that stuff, and eventually, I know he has this conversation with Chaos. Yeah, where he pretty much tries to see his own, like, why was he created and stuff like that, and he feels a bit guilty about kind of like having that program working in the back of his head.
Yes, because that's when Chaos says, like, one of my favorite quotes of Xenosaga around there, I think. Because he says something of, like, about how he would think that, or he tries to, like, live his existence for the people he cares about, but it doesn't necessarily mean it'll make everybody happy.
One's reason for existing. That's a difficult question. I'd like to think it's for the people I care about. For everyone. But my existence doesn't necessarily mean people will be happy.
So that was that was a really good scene.
Yeah, for sure. But that's where we pick up to the part in Victim, where Ziggy starts being like, I recognize this place.
Yeah, because eventually they go back to Mictum, which used to be called Abraxas, and then, like, Ziggy's acting all weird and squirrely, and Junior's like, yo, what's the matter with you, old man? He's like, I think I know where the Zohar is.
And then Junior's like, what? You knew all along?
No, my brain is messed up. I just remembered it now. I haven't defragged in 100 years.
And that's the Archon Cathedral. Is that the same cathedral as Pied Piper?
Archon Cathedral, yeah. That's it. Archon is like a neighborhood on, or a city or a neighborhood on planet Abraxas, aka Mictum, and that was where his family was killed. So it's a fun place.
Yeah. In due time they get there, and basically that's where Voyager is.
He's just like waiting there. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, this is the place of the beginning or whatever, and like blah blah blah, all that jazz. He starts saying a bunch of crap.
Bunch of crap, yeah. Pretty much.
Well, it's accurate. I mean, it's just, like, everything Voyager says, you're like, what?
Yeah, and that's like the most long-winded spiel he has in the entire series, and it's just like right before you kick his ass.
Yeah.
He's like blah blah blah.
But yeah, I think it's mostly like he managed to provoke Ziggy again. And
of course.
They pretty much fight in a solo fight with, like, what I found funny about this whole cutscene where they fight each other is that you had, like, the other mechs just sitting in the background doing nothing. I was like, come on, guys, help him.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, people...
just, like, Voyager grabs his face and just, like, smashes him into the floor.
Yeah,
that's okay, we'll just watch with popcorn, you know?
We'll just let them do their own thing.
To be fair, though, I guess, well, Ziggy is a cyborg and everyone else is, for the most part, mostly human. Unless, I mean, I guess Cosmos could have done something, but...
yeah, Cosmos.
But I think the one that did go out to help was Junior, I think, a little bit at some point.
He seems like he's the first one to help, because I remember during the Cosmos and Telos fight, like, he was like the only one, or the first Cosmos and Telos fight, he like started like shooting at Telos, and it's like, one
but
of you.
Sometimes Junior is the kind who's like hot blooded, so we just like fighting, yes.
There's a fight.
But, like, but also, like, if his friends are in danger, he jumps in without thinking. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think he helped. But then then they started to talk about this whole Kanan thing, because Voyager at some point stopped saying crap and started to say something about lactose, and like Ziggy went like, what? And the others were like, what? And then you had just Kanan that was like super serious, and I think that's where he explained a bit more about like lactose being technically Kanan with the Project Take Kanan thing. And he's like, so what, you didn't know, or something like that? just to make him suffer, you know? Yeah. And then I think that's where Junior kind of go apeshit, and he's just like, what, you betrayed us, blah blah blah, you watched us this whole time? And like, Kanan's just pretty much like, yeah, it's true, blah blah blah, but he doesn't really say like that it's because of a program in his head at first. Like, he really acts like he really betrayed them, because I guess that's how he feels.
Yeah, poor Kanan.
Yeah, poor him. But then, like, you have Kanan that starts offering to, like, or pretty much saying that he'd like to maybe become a testament and all that jazz, and like, in return he could give great power to, like, Voyager because of something.
He kind of tricks Voyager into.
Yeah, basically, basically he tells him like, "Oh, I'll give you great powers. I'm connected to like."
Wasn't it the
compass of order? Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, he connects him, and well, was pretty much a trap, because nothing can touch the compass of order without going bye bye. So
you've touched something that was never be touched.
Yeah, basically, and that's where Voyager was pretty much disappearing, and well, Kanan / Lactus along with it, but you still managed to talk a bit to Ziggy and the others and like apologize and blah blah blah. So just it was still a pretty like emotional scene, but at the same time, like when you don't have so much of background, it's like what?
Like, why do I care?
Yeah, definitely Kanan kind of suffered. Yeah. He's kind of suffered from lack of development.
Yeah.
Well,
I felt like a lot of that scene, the emotional impact of that scene was really diminished by not knowing the backstory to it. Like, since Pied Piper wasn't released in the US, not having that information beforehand really kind of dimmed some of the intensity for me.
Yeah, it did for me as well. Especially I remember Saga too, like, you see Kanan, like, right from the get-go. And I remember thinking to myself, like, who's this guy?
Yeah, yeah.
But to be honest, I was still sad because I kind of really liked the guy. I was just like, oh, I don't want him to die.
Right.
But at the same time, he died a hero death, and I mean, he freed himself from his curse, so...
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought it was so sad at the end, like, after Kanan disappears, and Ziggy's just standing there like, I failed yet again.
Yeah, like, he failed yet again to protect someone he liked.
Yeah, and I feel like he personally didn't fully find closure in that moment, and just had to deal with that for the rest of his life. That, you know, probably he found some peace with it, but it was kind of bittersweet. It was like he didn't really even have the chance to settle his own score.
Right.
Just kind of like his former subordinate had to do it for him, and that must have stung a little bit.
Yeah, but at the same time,
came to terms with it. Yeah,
at the same time, Voyager could not really be killed by anything. So I think what Kanan did was pretty much like the only way he could have killed him. So
yeah, closure wise, it sucks, but it's the only way they probably could have done it.
Yeah,
but at least now Ziggy knows that Voyager won't cause any more problems. He's gone forever. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. And he gets to go home and have a second chance at having a family and a dog.
Yes, the ending is
nice
cute.
stuff. So
I was so happy that, like, both him and Momo made it back okay. That, just they could make that family with Yuli, and, like, how Momo would help Scientia, like, to try and redo a sort of network.
Yeah, I did like that. I liked I liked that little moment in the ending, you know.
Yeah.
that was good.
Oh, and they.
Also how Momo kept the dog from Junior as well.
That's what I was about to say. They basically adopted Albie.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, except the real Albino is sleeping with his Junior, so he's basically doing the trip with him. Just eventually, Albino's gonna wake up in him and be like, "What the hell? Where am I?"
Why'd you name a dog after me?
Because that little dog is pure evil. No, no, he's too sweet to be evil.
But yeah, it's just like Junior is traveling with the others afterwards, so like Albino's pretty much like in his mind at that point. So that's why I mentioned like maybe eventually he'll wake up and he'll see that they're in the middle of nowhere and be like, "The crap, where are you going?"
Yeah, that's basically the story of Ziggy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think we covered everything we could. I mean, the thing with Ziggy is that like they don't cover a whole lot except in
the games.
Piper? I can pronounce it.
I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, just they don't cover a whole lot, and I find it a bit sad. I think it would have been nice to have a few more background flashbacks from him or something.
Yeah.
Like even when they mentioned that whole Lactus thing, I think it would have been cool to see like maybe a scene of when Lactus was Lactus or something like that, you know?
Yeah, like he didn't get any flashbacks.
And even like at that moment, like they talk about this whole scene of where like his family died there, but we never really saw this scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it might have been a bit too hardcore.
Yeah, that would have been
probably they would have removed all of the blood because American version had no blood.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they kind of did that for the.
You know that one
with,
scene
like,
with Shion that makes no
dying.
sense.
Yeah.
Shion's parents dying and like Albedo doing.
I have to put it back. What do you have to put back? I can't see it. Blood doesn't exist in this universe. Seriously, the first time I saw that scene, I was like, "Why is it focusing on her head? What's happening?" Then I go see on YouTube the Japanese version. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, I've heard like I don't know who said this a long time ago, but there's like some like people trying to theorize like ways to justify the censorship is like Shion's holding the spirit of her mother in her hands, and she wants to put the spirit back in, but
That's reach.
Nah, it was just blood. It was just blood.
All right. Well, getting back to Ziggy, something we've brought up in other character episodes. Well, I wish we had brought it up in Shion's episode, but like the voice acting for Ziggy.
I love Richard Epcar. I love him.
It was so great that he was able to play as Ziggy through all 3 episodes when other characters weren't so lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's awesome.
They had the same voice actor and the same like design for the whole.
Yeah, the entire design. Everybody else got redesigned like 3 times, but Ziggy stayed the same throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
It was really great. But yeah, like, Richard Epcar is so iconic, and I really love that he just, like, stayed with the character, even though the job ended, because, like, voice actor jobs, once you're done, you're done. And I do like that he returned to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've even seen him, like, on Twitter and stuff, like, post that Ziggy was, like, one of his favorite roles, which was really, really cool that he, like, mentioned that.
Oh. Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. I don't think he follows me on Twitter, but he follows me on Instagram, and he's liked some pictures of my
dog. Oh my god, that's great!
So I feel very, very honored.
That's awesome.
That is a great honor.
And he wishes everyone happy birthday on Facebook on their birthday, like all his Facebook friends.
Aww.
He wishes them happy birthday. So he's wished me happy birthday several times. I'm just like.
But that's really awesome.
It is, yeah. Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool guy. I like him.
And the other,
I met him at a convention once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was years ago. Like, I think it was 2008 or whenever he was at Otakon, like 10, 11 years ago. And I got his autograph, but I didn't really say much to him besides, "Oh my god." I was just so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." But yeah, it was cool.
To be fair, I think if I would have met him, I would have been like freaking out too, because like he has a really good voice, and like his role for Ziggy was really amazing. So
yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and then the anime had a different voice actor, but they basically changed everybody.
I think the voice actor who. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
From what I've seen, they seem to have tried to get voice actors that were pretty close to the voice range of the ones from the original game. So it's not that bad, really.
Yeah, the guy they got for him in the anime was actually, I think he also did a character that I like in Borderlands.
Oh, really?
And I found that out. Yeah, I found that out while I was really into Borderlands. So I had to go back and watch the dub for that. It's like it was a really weird overlap, and I was freaking out about that too. So it wasn't Richard Epcar, but it was another guy I liked.
That's just awesome coincidence, though.
I know. I was losing my shit about it. I went on this whole rant on Tumblr about how it was it was amazing. So I mean, even though it wasn't the same guy, it was still pretty cool.
Still really good, but yeah. And well, that also reminds me of like one of my favorite scenes from the anime, which is kind of few and far between. But when you first when Ziggy and Momo get on board the ship, Ziggy and Cosmos have that little fight. And it's so epic and awesome. I mean, it's short, but it's like I never knew I wanted a Ziggy and Cosmos fight, but I approved of it.
That was like pure fan service. There was a lot of fan service in the anime.
Yeah, but honestly, in the anime, Ziggy and Momo were already in the ship when Cosmos and the others enter, and since Cosmos was pretty much forceful into getting into the ship, well, he was like, "I'm gonna intercept the intruders and stuff."
Yeah.
But thankfully, she unstopped that. Because otherwise, I think Momo would have been squashed.
Oh my gosh.
Because Momo placed herself in front of Ziggy, and then, Shion in front of Momo.
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely do a watch party of that.
Yes.
We're planning on it.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, I would really like to.
Even I kind of want to jump in on that, even though I'll be screaming the entire time.
Because they killed Draco.
Yeah, and any time that Virgil shows up in any scene that I remember Trinkov being in, that in the back of my head, that scene from the Harry Potter movie, was like, "How dare you stand where he stood!"
Oh my god, that made me so mad too.
Yeah, so I have to mute myself until Virgil dies in the anime, which I don't know when that is.
He dies in the anime when I think it's when the Foundation gets attacked by the
it's like episode 8 or 9 or
he lives a lot longer than he should, and that was one of the most jarring things.
Yeah. Honestly, Kat, you don't have to mute yourself because we can both scream about it. You can just scream in stereo.
It's okay. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Okay. I can at least be entertaining while I'm in pain, and actually not as much pain but it's funny when I say I'm in pain, because I was really looking forward to seeing Cherenkov's anime sequence, just animated, and we was robbed, son.
We were, yeah. I mean,
I think I don't fully remember, but I think don't they fully skip over the cathedral ship or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was one of my favorite parts in episode 1, aside from everything with Ziggy. I loved the cathedral ship.
Yeah, especially
and the
that.
nothingness.
That part was really it was really heavy, and it's where also like they discovered that Gnosis are basically people.
Yeah. Yeah, they totally, like, that was an important scene. It was a really important scene, and they just completely cut it out of the anime.
But at the same time, like, I can understand to some extent, but at the same time, because, I mean, would have been probably too much time in the show to put yet another place, but at the same time, like, well, you kind of needed at least that reproduction of that specific scene, at least somewhere else or something. Like, something happening so that this scene is there, because it's important.
Well, I think the scene with, like, Betty was still in the anime. It just didn't have as much impact, or, I don't know.
Oh, Betty, the Gnosis chick.
Yeah! Which, I don't know why I remember a random character's name that has no importance on the story.
Who could forget Betty? No, I remember Betty. That was so hard hitting in the game, though. It was just like Betty, and she's like half Gnosis and half human. It's just like so freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost like Final Fantasy VII-ish. I don't know. Like,
like Zenova. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like chills, like that kind of horror.
Yeah, like the body horror, the thing hooked up to the mouth, like that gets me every time. That really unsettles me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was intense. That was really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Ziggy!
Yeah, Ziggy. Is there anybody... Yeah, sorry, we got a little sidetracked there.
That's okay, off topic's fine.
So actually,
good.
we spent a lot of time like speaking about his story and, his importance to the plot. What about playing as Ziggy? Did any of you actually use him in your party a lot? And like, do you feel like...
Oh, geez, yeah. I used him all the time. Like,
I used him from time to time because the three bias I use in battle was usually Junior, Chaos, and Cosmos. But I would sometimes swap Chaos, not Chaos, but Junior for him because he's more tanky, and like in some battles it was a bit better, like for the tankiness, because sometimes Junior can be a bit easy to kill. But Junior had also his perks, but it's just that like he didn't have a whole lot of defense compared to Ziggy.
Yeah, I don't really have a particular strategy when playing games. So I just used him and like Momo and one other character for the entirety of episode 3 whenever I could form my own party, just because I liked them.
Yeah, well, it's the same for me for Junior, Chaos, and Cosmos, because I like them, so it's just like, I want to play with them.
Yeah, I think when I played, I was Ziggy, Cosmos, and either Momo or Chaos most of the time.
Yeah.
Thinking with Chaos is that he's a good healer for the group, and he has like some, like, depending on the games, like sometimes he has Ancient, I think, that can put elements on people, and I know in Xenosaga 2 especially was really helpful.
Well, the thing about Ziggy, like in episode 3, I love playing him against human enemies because of that.
The choke.
Yes, the choke where you basically snap enemies' necks.
So here's a funny story about the choke in Xenosaga 3. I had a friend, and I kind of like convinced him to get into Xeno, and then he started dating somebody who also further pushed him to start playing Xeno, and he was at Xenosaga 3, and what he would do is he would play Ziggy, and he would use choke, and because he thought the animation was so funny when he's like choking people, he would take a screenshot every time he choked someone. So he had like a folder of like Ziggy choking people.
If someone found that on my computer, they'd think I'd have a thing.
I remember Permantis was taking requests for choked characters. Got him back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember him swapping out character models, and that was
I loved that.
That was fun.
Yeah. And everybody had their OTP do the one dance attack that was Chaos. That was great. I still have those screenshots.
Yeah,
I kind of felt gameplay-wise, Ziggy got done a little dirty because they kind of made each character, especially in episode 1, they kind of made each character really strong against one particular species, I guess you could say.
One particular type, like bio, gnosis, or mech.
Yeah, and Ziggy was really good, like really, really good against other like human type enemies. There were none towards the end of the game.
Right.
Like, you get to the end of the game and it was all either mech or gnosis, and Ziggy was useless.
Story of my life.
I ended up not using Ziggy, but not because I didn't like him, just because he was useless against those types of enemies.
That's exactly how I felt with episode 1. I didn't really get a whole lot of use out of him. Like, outside of when you first got him, I remember using him, but I was like, oh, hey, he's got, more health and more defense. But then as, like, the game went on, I found him to be a lot less useful. He was kind of useful in episode 2. I think I remember swapping him out a few times. But episode 3, I used him a lot more because Choke was just so broken and useful.
Yes, I always felt bad when I used it on Shion.
Wow.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I guess with that, is there any other final comments on Ziggy?
He's badass.
Yes.
Well, that works.
RoboCop. Anime RoboCop.
Yeah, anime RoboCop.
The anime RoboCop dad.
I like his legs. His legs are cool. I want legs like that.
Legs for days.
Legs for
Legs like
days.
that.
Him stick the leg out.
Really far.
And I'm like, not to bring up the mankini again, but it's
How can we
awesome.
not bring it up?
It's awesome how in episode 2 his swimsuit was just basically like a snorkel, and it's
An Xbox.
yeah, the green, yeah.
It's like an Xbox.
So it's like, Ziggy, that's not something you wear at the beach. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll change things up. And then he changed, and then he went too far, or maybe not far enough.
We've gone too far.
I'd go a little further. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
You're fine.
Okay, anything else we should say? Sorry for being, like, irredeemably awkward.
No, you're.
Does anybody know how he magically got his human leg back whenever he puts his swimsuit on?
I think there was something in the database about how some combat cyborgs have like a Realian body that they switch into when they're not on duty.
Are you shitting me?
I'm pretty sure.
What?
I don't think anyone
They made a database entry to explain the swimsuit.
I don't know if that has actually explained it, but I've heard that cited as a reason.
That is amazing.
Like, I think that was the reason. I think I came across it in my research. Don't quote me on that. I mean,
No,
That's true.
I'm gonna look up the database.
I
'cause
think
I
I
have it, but
saw that as well when I was looking up Ziggy on his wiki, because it said something about how most cyborgs would kind of like go back and forth between a Realian body and their cyborg body, but Ziggy just mostly stayed in his cyborg body.
yeah, he doesn't have a vacation body, except he does apparently now.
Episode.
Maybe he did an upgrade while we were not watching.
Or maybe he just had that Realian body in storage the whole time and he just had to dust it off in episode 3.
Yeah. So, Ziggurat Type 8 models typically transfer their neural infrastructure from a Realian-based body to they inhabit while off-duty into their cyborg body when deployed on a mission. Ziggy, however, remains in his Type 8 body at all times out of personal preference and does not require a Realian body. That's funny.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in his database entry for episode 3.
So the
Yeah.
swimsuit is explained.
He just leaves the swimsuit then on the Realian body. And instead of changing into the swimsuit, he just changes into a body with a swimsuit on.
Yeah, he just leaves that body in the closet.
Takes it out and puts it off a hanger.
He probably uses that when he goes on dates with her.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Woo!
There's one thing I'm trying to remember, because I think in Xenokami, during Ziggy's chapter, he kind of, doesn't he, like, fall asleep and kind of dream about the past a little bit, or am I?
Yeah, he has a flashback. He does. He has a flashback there. Let me see if I can find that. I'm sure I have that on my computer too. I probably saved that. Yeah, I don't know if I ever watched through all of that, but I'm pretty sure there's a very brief flashback where he actually shouts out the names of his wife and son. Even, I think.
Oh yeah, I think because it's ridiculous, but I think I think it's when he like passes out from Cosmos like attacking him. Or well, in quotation
marks.
Cosmos
versus Ziggy, part 2.
Except she was being a cat and trying to claw at his chest for some reason.
What?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's actually what I have the script here, and that's actually what happens. Cosmo starts attacking him, and then okay, so it says and there's a note here that says it was a preview of Pied Piper that was supposed to be in episode 2 first. I don't know who translated this. Was it Kare who translated this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's Kare's note, and yeah, so he's just like, so he just kind of he has this random flashback, and he's yelling to his family not to die, and then he wakes up. It's so sad. It's so sad.
One of the few sad moments in that game. Weird.
Yeah. A little incongruous, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a background at some point? There's a background.
Yeah, there's like the church, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
I probably have it in my Senokami folder.
Oh yeah, I think that might be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a cathedral in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a really nice little...
Oh shit.
What?
Holy shit.
What?
There's like if that's oh my god, what?
What?
There's like hang on, I didn't say I'm looking at it. It's a little hard to tell. It's the only picture of a church in there, right?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't watched the whole thing, but like, there's like, oh my god, there's like his wife and son are lying there dead at the bottom. I think.
Wait.
It's really hard to tell.
Let me look at my Xenokami folder wherever it is.
I could be wrong, but it looks like there's someone lying, like 2 people lying there at the bottom, just like chilling there.
Oh, where are you?
DSBG18. Does that ring a bell?
Hold on. I need it. I haven't looked.
I'm sorry, I'm like clearing my throat so much. Let's see.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's them, but it's. I haven't uploaded.
Ah, crap.
I never really looked that closely at it.
Holy crap! You're right. Oh my god!
I want to see this.
Oh my god!
Let me upload it. I'll upload it.
Let's see this.
I'll have to put this in the YouTube version.
Yeah, if you zoom in really close.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
because
I think I want to say when I imported this into RimPy, I think it like cuts off some of the image, so I don't know if it cuts off.
Oh my god!
Oh, I'm a terrible person.
No.
Oh,
I literally never noticed that until just now.
I didn't either. Oh my god. That's so sad.
So sad.
Also, I'm sort of seeing the Nathan Cross there and freaking out just a little bit. I've never actually gotten a chance to see this image super up close.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I always thought the Ormus crucifix was like a different shape, but I guess it's evolved over the years. It's not a clean graphic in Saga. So
yeah.
Wow.
I can't believe I never looked that closely.
No. I'm glad I brought up Senokami.
I don't know if we should even show that in the episode thing whenever we mention it, so people know what we're talking about. Or
we could.
Yeah,
we could have a link to it or have it in the video. Or
at least for the video version.
Yeah, I'll put it in the YouTube version around this time.
Nice.
And for the others, we could always put a link or something.
Yeah. Wow. Holy crap.
Yeah. Now, does anybody remember if Xenosaga 1 and 2 added much to Ziggy? Because I know it added some scenes, but I don't know if it added much more to Ziggy's story or.
You mean the one of DS?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't played or seen much of it.
I know. I've seen people do a Let's Play of it. Like, a friend of mine on LiveJournal did a playthrough of it with screenshots, like, years and years ago, but I don't remember much. I don't know if there was much in there.
Yeah, I think the translation for 1 and 2DS was partial the last time I tried to play it. And like they'd only really translated the menus and the items, and I think I got to the cathedral ship and I could not progress because I didn't know how to level.
I think isn't Pure like sometimes working on a translation to that now?
I think so. It's like an on and off thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a copy of Xenosaga 1 and 2, but I've never played it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about bringing it with me to Japan, though it's not like I'll be able to absorb the language and be able to use it.
Or maybe just go up to the monolith office building with it. Please sign this.
Oh, that'd be great. Well,
I have some pictures. Sorry, I'm like clearing my throat at the. Sorry.
It's fine. No. It's fine.
You're fine.
I'm sorry for rambling.
No, you're fine. You were the exact person that needed to be on this episode.
Oh gosh, I feel honored. Like, seriously. And I'm sorry if I didn't do it justice or
oh no,
you did perfectly fine.
You did great.
You backed up things that I could not have backed up because I did not know everything.
Oh, you helped a lot. Like, you filled in a lot.
Yeah, but it's mostly because I've been rewatching the cutscenes, so I could like give my input on what was in the games. It's just the whole like background story. I didn't see everything yet, so that's the part where you helped a lot.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, I hope I didn't get the background story too wrong.
No, I don't think so.
Sometimes I have trouble explaining things.
Yeah, I think you did you did a good job.
You did an amazing job. I'm glad I was able to like bring you into this. It's my fault, everybody.
Your Uzuki spree was epic.
Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much for inviting me on here.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming, and thank you the few times you spoke up, Jeremy. I appreciate that as well.
Thank you, Jimby.
You're welcome.
That was so fucking cute. Holy shit.
All right. Well, I guess this is probably a good time to wrap things up.
Yep.
Okay.
So, we'll just kind of go around. If there's any projects or social media you want to share, just go ahead and go about it. First, I'll give it to Justin.
Honestly, I guess this time I don't really have a whole lot to say or things to plug.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a pretty relaxing and slow time for me.
Oh.
Good. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Relaxing is good, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Ooh. Oh gosh, I hate. I'm having a brain fart. I'm so sorry. Hey, Mary, what do you got going on?
Well, I know last episode I mentioned how I was working on Margie, but I was kind of put on hold because I was working on another cosplay too, and yeah, it didn't happen. So, but this month, for real, I'm working on it now. I'm gonna work on it, just I'm waiting for my sewing machine to come back, because technically the other reason why I didn't work on it on January is because I felt like my machine needed some tuning and some love, but I didn't have the budget in January because I had a con there, so I waited till now, it's pretty much there, and I should get it back this week. So whenever I get back this machine, I'm working hardcore on Margie.
Nice. I look forward to it.
Yes, and also need to. Thing is, I did craft most of the stone, including the big one. But since the big one I did not have an actual mold, I tried to do my own. But like, the first time I'd say I kind of derped because I used Warbler to shape it, but like I was kind of rushing and I forgot the whole a spec of Wardla being not exactly smooth. So the stone did not turn out smooth, and it was weird. It was like, oh no. I tried to save it by putting some transparent nail polish over it to make it more shiny. But I'm not satisfied with this stone. I want to start over, but it's kind of costly because I need to buy more silicone paste, and that stuff is like as expensive as a resin pack, so just like, ugh.
Oh jeez.
Like the resin pack is $25, and the smallest silicone paste is like $25 too. So just like 50 right there.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, but I really want to redo this stone because I don't like how it came out. But this time I think I'm gonna shape the initial mold out of foam clay, since that's a new thing that exists and that's wonderful and smooth.
That's awesome.
So it's basically like working with modeling paste, but it becomes foam when it dries.
Oh,
that's awesome.
So it's amazing. So yeah, I'll work on margin and I'll keep you guys updated, and most likely when spring comes around one day, because Quebec and snow and less snow, whenever spring comes back, I'm gonna try. Yeah, I heard of that before. I'm actually from Montreal. I think he was from Montreal too, no?
Yeah, Jeremy's from Montreal.
Oh yeah,
still lives up there.
Awesome. But yeah, whenever spring comes back one day and the snow disappear one day, I'll do a pho shoot with her.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah,
definitely share pictures.
But also for this summer, like I have my friend was barred last year with me at Otakuton. He's gonna join me back again this year, but we also have two of our older friends who are actually a couple who are planning to join us as Faye and Ellie. So yeah. So yeah, I kind of dragged them into it, but at the same time I was like, I knew they kind of wanted to do it at some point. It was like, come on guys, you're gonna join us. And I was like, I'm gonna style your wings. So like, what they're gonna do, they're probably gonna buy the cosplay, and I'll probably help my friend do his Faye armor in the front or something with foam or whatever. So yeah.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that group. Like, and especially like last year, like I think we got recognized like twice, but like I know one of them lost his shit. Even though my Margie was not complete, he still recognized us because, Bart was complete. So, but yeah, it was cool. So that's about it for cosplay. Although I have like a ton of other cosplay plans for this year because I'm insane. And we also talked about going to Katsu 2020. A lot of us now. Yeah. I kind of started that movement. No shame. But yeah, but it's awesome. We're gonna have like almost the entire Xeno family there.
Yeah,
that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. I don't think I've been to. Well, I've been to Balticon, but I haven't really been to like an anime convention since like.
Yeah, Katsucon is something they like. If you like seeing pretty costumes, you go there.
But also,
I would
really
love
gorgeous.
to go back someday.
Yeah, the venue is amazing, and honestly, if we were a few to cosplay, I'd suggest us to maybe book a photo shoot to have 30 pictures, and especially also because the venue is so amazing. It looks like it could come straight up from, I don't know, some kind of Kukai Foundation shit.
Oh, that is a great pretend.
That'd be perfect.
So I feel like it'd be perfect because it's like this giant imposing, futuristic-looking building almost. So
that's wonderful.
The only thing though, if we wanted shots outside, we might freeze for a little bit, but it's all a matter of like keeping your coat on and like removing it while taking a picture, coming back to your coat.
That works.
Yeah.
Do you have your Yuri coat?
Of course I do. I still have that entire cosplay. I didn't let you throw that out. I have Yuri.
I still got my Ziggy legs upstairs in the attic somewhere.
You could put them back together.
Nice.
You could rebuild them.
Do it.
We can rebuild
If
them.
you want, you could patch it back with some foam clay. I assure you, it's magical.
It's made out of wood. It's pretty heavy.
Oh,
Yeah, you should work on making them a little more comfortable so that you can actually wear them inside the convention and they don't like kick you out for having to
well, I
for
can
your legs
suggest you
being
that
too
EVA
extreme.
foam and foam clay for details could be a good option because it's flexible and light. So if you wanted to remake them out of something light, you could use that.
I couldn't walk upstairs with my Ziggy costume.
Oh.
Jeremy, you and Maddie should communicate. You should exchange cosplay tips.
Yeah, sure.
We should do this.
I don't have any cosplay tips.
Well, I mean, you could
Don't
learn
make
a thing
legs
or
out
two.
of wood.
Yeah, don't make legs out of wood with nails poking through them into your feet.
Oh.
He had like nails poking into his feet.
But
my
yeah,
God.
seriously,
Jeremy.
there's been a lot of materials that popped up in the last few years for crafting. There's multiple like thermoplastic, and there's also foam and foam clay and those things. But foam clay is like really mind blowing, to be honest. Like, I've used it in my last project, and it was like, oh my god, this is so cool. But yeah, we can exchange some
That's
tip,
awesome.
and we could try and make that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah,
That'd be
I would
awesome.
love that. I haven't been to a convention in a while.
And if you
so
guys
that
do
would be-
Yuli and like Ziggy again, we need to find a Momo, man.
yeah, we need a Momo.
I want
Honestly-
my Momo. I'm gonna be Junior.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we need a Momo.
Hey, you're short enough.
I am short enough to be Momo. I'm like short enough to be like Ziggy's stepson. I'm short enough to be the dog.
No.
But I could do Momo, but I could
You
do
know what?
whatever.
I've been agonizing on how I'm going to be able to throw this Cherenkov costume together. I might just be Momo.
I can see you
Hey,
pulling off
you
You would be
Momo.
a good
That'd be
Momo.
great.
Cherenkov would be awesome.
Yeah.
too. You would be. But yeah, you would be a good Momo.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you'd be super cute.
I love Momo, and I think she's adorable. So I think
Momo is
You should do
Momo
Momo.
is wonderful.
And
Momo is so
I know.
badass.
I know.
love
So
her.
far, Justin wants to do Chaos, and we're planning on more
Yeah.
on episode 3 look because of the fact that Chaos episode 3 is like easier than like it's much easier than the straps in 2, and like the first one is like
Yeah.
the booby shirts.
It
Not the
goes
booby,
me.
the booty. Sorry.
Booty shorts, Space Jesus booty shorts.
Yeah, I don't know how badly you all want to see me in booty shorts, but I'll do episode 3 because I actually really like that outfit the most of the 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've always liked Chaos in general. 'cause
So
always
I
felt
don't
like-
know,
like a really
Cadimus,
fun-
how you feel about it, but maybe you could do Momo from 3 as well.
I think you would look really good with like episode 3 Momo's hair. That would be
That-
so cool.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I imagine
And I
in my
could totally
head.
style that, honestly. Like, it's not really hard. Like, honestly,
It would be so
we're
cool.
probably... Me and Chad were thinking on getting there on Thursday, so I imagine on Thursday I'll probably go grab my pass and then be the wig stylist of everybody.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Well, maybe we should.
Jeremy, will you need a wig this time?
Well, I'm not growing hair.
I told Jeremy he could probably go as Voyager because he shaves his head and he's always wearing black. And
There you go.
He could totally do a casual Voyager. But I don't know. I really like his Ziggy costume, so it's yeah.
I don't have enough bloodlust
Bloodlust? You need bloodlust?
to cosplay Voyager.
I don't know, dude. You used to do a pretty good Voyager.
Just to ruin your day.
Yeah, just to ruin my day. He would do like impressions of Voyager saying horrible, unspeakable things. And it would ruin
funny.
my day, but actually it was kind of hilarious.
But, yeah, sorry for the cosplay rambling. Like,
No, that's
whenever
okay.
we get into
Cosplay
cosplay, I
ranting.
just, like, I get lost in it.
Yeah, we
It's wonderful.
we should
though.
we should all do this and then also have a XenoChat panel. It would be it would be
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah, well, we were thinking of doing a possible panel there. And I have a video
Yeah.
camera, so I could, like, record if someone has a tripod or something.
Yeah,
to
it all
set it up
depends
in the
on
back.
whether or not they accept us, and we'll apply when panel applications go up. But if we totally get that panel, then we need to do it in cosplay. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I'll cosplay as Alan and bring my Cosmos Dolphy doll.
Yes,
That's awesome.
We'll be able to place her on the table and stuff. She'll be a little mascot.
Aw,
that would be wonderful.
that would be adorable. Okay, all right. So let's So Kat, is there any projects or social media you want to plug?
I'm playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV right now, because I'm working overtime.
Oh.
Sad.
Yeah, but it's alright. I'll be alright. My head up.
Oh, hang in there, Kat.
Thank
We
you.
love you.
We love you.
And I love you guys too.
I'm making a heart with my
Aw.
hands.
Aw.
Making heart hands
All right.
at the microphone.
Erin, is there any like projects or social media you want to plug?
I guess. I mean, I guess I could link you guys to my my website or my Twitter or something.
What about drawing with Erin?
What, Jeremy? Go on. We have a YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Oh,
We draw stuff on the internet and we talk about it. We could link that down there. It's called Drawing with Jaren. With Jeremy and I draw stuff and we talk about drawing. And we're doing a commission for Kat right now, so like, if you follow us, stay
Nice.
tuned for that because we're excited about that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just like I recently redid my entire Xenosaga fan site, so that should if anyone in their right mind is interested in seeing my embarrassing fan works, should I give the address or should we just link to it? Or I don't know.
We're probably gonna link it into the
yeah, I'll put it.
descriptions.
Yeah, I'll put the notes or put that in the notes along with the link to your YouTube channel.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you don't have to. I don't want to be like all self-promotional, but
No,
since you brought
this
it
is
up-
the part where we talk about the things that we're doing aside from the podcast. You deserve this spot.
Yeah, gotta support each other.
Okay,
Gotta support
okay.
each other.
Yep.
Okay. Word. All right. So yeah, you can link to that if you want to.
Will do.
Cool. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And I'm not really doing much myself these days. I'm going to Japan in a week, so the podcast will be on
cool.
hiatus for a bit. But by the time this episode's out, because we're like 3 episodes behind, because we recently put out the Production with Pure Part 2. Oh my god.
Cool.
I still haven't listened to it. Didn't get the chance.
I've been listening to
Yeah, I need to
the
get
episodes
caught up,
back
too.
to back because I didn't really listen to Part 1. I mean, I was there, but I forgot some of the things we discussed. But yeah, after this, the Melia episode's almost done. I'm hoping to hopefully to get it done sometime this week. In our XenoChat Discord, I think it was Radio Tanuki. He gave a really good suggestion about trying to like implementing, because I know I really had fun editing the music episode, like putting in all those music clips. But he also suggested like putting in like voice clips of characters. So I think it would be really interesting to play around, like maybe for this episode put in some Ziggy quotes or something like that, and maybe for the
I
Melia.
have a request.
Yes?
So maybe you guys remember this in Xenosaga, the episode 3. There was a mini game.
Oh god, the mini game. We
that
didn't
you
even.
could play with the different characters where you pressed it was like a little puzzle game,
Hackox.
right? You had little cubes that would move around, and you had to get the characters to point A to point B.
Yeah.
There is a clip, and it's just the funniest sound I've ever heard in my entire life of Ziggy getting squished by a cube.
What?
And the sound that he makes, I swear to God, is the funniest sound you've ever heard in your life.
I'll do
I don't remember this, but it's been ages
Yeah, I
since
don't
I
remember
actually
the sound
played the
either.
games.
I'll do that.
Richard Epcar earned his entire paycheck that day with that one fucking recording.
I'll do some digging and see if I can find it.
Squished by a cube.
Actually, you can find the death sounds for all the characters in that little mini game because they're all hilarious. But I thought Ziggy's was probably the most fun.
Isn't Chaos go? That was surprising.
Whew, that was surprising.
Yes.
Yeah, the first time I squished Chaos with a block, and he said that was surprising. I said, "Me too."
I like how
I like how casual he is.
I like how Albedo's is like, my existence is infinite.
My existence is infinite!
Then he just dies. It's like,
I think I'm starting to remember a bit now, though.
we definitely need to do a minigame episode of this show.
I don't remember. What did Juniors say, though? Like, I'm pretty sure I probably used them, but I don't freaking remember.
I think Alan goes, "Chee!"
Of course.
That's accurate.
Okay. And then, so we got the Melia episode, and then after that's the Myths and Misconceptions episode, which I sadly haven't touched yet, but hopefully I'll have it edited before my trip, but no promises.
It's all good.
So, yeah.
Take your time.
Okay. Yeah, then, so you have like 3 episodes, counting this one backed up, so this should hopefully be good for a while.
Cool.
Then I don't know what we're doing next. We'll just probably, once I get back, we'll discuss what the next direction we're going.
I kind of want to scream
Awesome.
URTVs, but at the same time, I'm like, we should probably give love to some of the Xenoblade content.
Yeah, I mean, we gave Melia her episode, but that's still not enough Xenoblade. Alright, well, that should be it. Thanks again for everyone joining me today. I really appreciate the conversation.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. Well, this has been XenoChat. Thanks for listening, and everyone, have a good night.
Good night!
Good
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I seem to have reached the end.